What's going on, everybody? Mike here from AXC Garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with episode number 5 on our 2023 Acura Integra A-Spec. On the last episode, we installed the entire performance package from PRL. Now, today's video, we have a few things on the list, and the first thing on the list is the wheel and tire issue that we ran into on episode number 3. The Vossen HF-5 is just a little bit too aggressive for our Integra, but we have a perfect solution for it. So why don't we take a walk to the wheel and tire section and see what we got. All right, John, so we're back with the Vossen, and it looks like you got a new set of tires right over here.
So we were working with Vossen, and we told them our situation we ran into with these tires. They reached out to Nitto for us, and Nitto sent us over a brand new set of these NT-555 Gen 2s or G2s here. Pretty awesome tires. I have no experience with the Nittos except their race tire, their NT-555Rs. So this one we were taking a look at, it's a 320 tread wear with a AA traction and a temperature rating. This should be pretty good as far as performance go. And what we did is we went ahead and we stepped the sidewall down to a 230, not sidewall, I should say overall width, to a 235. So these were 255s, this is a 235. We're hoping this will help get that clearance on the front end that we're looking for. These are still a 32 offset, which is a little bit aggressive. So hopefully this is the happy medium. Worst case scenario, I may have to do that little trick to get a little bit of extra camber in the front, hopefully not. But let's go ahead and get the old BFGs off, get these on, see how it works on the car. All right, so we have our Vossens mounted up with our Nitto tires. We're gonna go ahead and take the Mugens off, the MDCs, and put them over to the side, save maybe for the tail of the Dragon. But right now, let's get these off. And then we're also gonna be using a set of new Vossen Lug Nuts. They're really cool. They have a two-piece design. They tighten nice and don't damage the wheels. Let's go ahead and get this done.
John, I tell you what, I think this go to work.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Our fitment is a little bit tight, but I think we're good. We didn't even add any more camber in by removing that nub on the top of the strut. Right now, the fitment's really good. By going with the 235 over the 255, not only did it make it less wide, narrow everything out, but it also dropped down the tire size overall because the other one was bulging. So this 235 on the 8.5, it actually fixed the wheel perfectly with no stretch. And we have really good clearance through here, and the back fitment with the 32 offset really cleared some of our wheel gap up at the top. Overall, I really like the look of the wheel on here. What do you think about it, Mike?
I really like it. The only, I wouldn't say the bad thing about gloss black wheel, you can't really tell from far.
Yeah, and in photos, they don't show as good as.
But I tell you what, it does look really good with all the black accent that you have around the vehicle.
Yeah, it matches the glosses on everything, and our fancy A-Spec right here.
Man, definitely changed out the entire look.
It's a totally different car right now.
Why don't we take it for a quick spin, John?
Oh yeah, you ready for that, Mike?
I'll tell you what, I'm really liking the Integra. With all the stuff that we have done so far, is super responsive. I mean, you've been driving this for a little while now, John. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. I love driving this car. We just took it up to Orlando for its first long ride. The thing got, what did I tell you the mileage was?
34 miles a gallon with 4 grown adult.
Yeah, fully loaded on the 19s. 34 miles to the gallon, driving somewhat aggressively the whole way, 80 miles an hour. Very nice, man. I can't complain. And you put it into comfort mode and it gets softer, better fuel efficient too. It's nice. It's like turning it on and off, just like on the NSX.
I'll tell you what, man, I went through some serious bump back there. Thing's not rubbing, man.
I know, here's some good bumps right here.
Yeah.
This one I always feel this is a good test. No rubs, no noises.
Yeah. I did a full lock earlier, nothing. I think this is a great solution.
I think the 235, 35, 19 is the right tire size for that offset and width.
I'll tell you what, I was a little concerned about the road noise with these tires, and Nittos, oftentimes they're high performance tires. They tend to make a little bit more road noise, and these are, quite frankly, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're almost a little quieter than my Contis.
Yeah.
So, and I think, I'm not sure, But these look like they're a little bit lighter than the Mugens. It may be, I'm not sure though.
I tell you what though, your car definitely is a little bit lower than the Mugen 19.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know if it's a whole lot lower, but when it backed down, it definitely touched the little mud flap.
Well, I think we're all good here. Let's go ahead and head back to the shop and work on the next item.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so we got our Integra back in the shop, and next up, we got a second item on the list. Put a big box here, and it is a Mugen box. What do we got here, John?
Something that you can only get from King Motorsports, and what this is the very first Mugen exhaust for the 11th Gen SI, and King Motorsports sent it over to us, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure it fits on the car. But we're pretty sure everything fits. We checked part numbers and everything like that on the stock exhaust and crossed it over to the 11th Gen SI. But this is a really cool exhaust. It's really not like any other exhaust we've seen from Mugen. So let's open it up and see, because I haven't even seen it yet. We've only seen pictures.
All right, so we have the Mugen exhaust all opened up right here on the table. But before we take a closer look, John can tell you guys a little bit more about the factory exhaust and what it looks like.
All right, so we were just over here taking a look at the factory exhaust. Our collector here is an integrated collector, like a cast piece, if you will. Also, we were taking a look at the exhaust. It's ovaled. I'm not sure if that's for ground clearance. It might be, but it's not the lowest part on the car. And also, if you come back here, you can see our muffler here with this loop-de-loop deal here. I'm sure that has to do with some sort of sound issue or something like that as far as the tuning goes. And you can see our factory mounting points everywhere. And then as we follow it down, we have a small resonator right here in the middle and another mounting point, and then our downpipe, or I should say our front pipe from PRL that we have right there. So this exhaust is going to replace all this. But as you can see, this is pretty much a one-piece exhaust, with the exception that one muffler is able to bolt on and off. The Mugen exhaust comes in what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And even the flanges are very similar to the factory style. Can't forget, the Mugen exhaust is a factory optional exhaust. I wouldn't say factory optional, but dealer installed option that you could purchase. So all the fitment is going to be like factory. Even as far as our exhaust gaskets, our little donuts here, comes with new hardware. Our piping here is not ovaled, but it is all round, so that's probably going to help with our flow. We have a large resonator right here, full stainless steel construction on everything. And if you look at the collector here, it has a really nice smooth merge to it. It's very, very good looking there. And also on our canisters, you can see the tip is opened up a lot more than the factory, and we have some laser etching on the side here. So overall, performance, I don't think there's going to be a huge difference in performance, but the quality of this is definitely a lot higher than the factory one. First step is we got to pull this exhaust off. The piping, the bolts are a little bit underneath here. I don't think we need to pull the entire shield down, so we're just going to pull some of these bolts and clips off and see how much access it gives us. We could probably get to it with an extension. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Yeah, so overall, we're pretty impressed with the exhaust. It definitely sounds a lot deeper than the OEM muffler system.
Yeah, we haven't got it out on the road yet to hear how it sounds under load, but at idle, it has a deeper tone on startup, and when it revs, you hear it. And you can hear a little bit of turbo spool out the exhaust. So as we mentioned before, this exhaust is not for an Integra, and it is for a Civic that actually has an integrated exhaust tip on the bumper. And this would be replacing the exhaust tip. So we have a little bit of a fitment issue with the tip. The tip is about 3 to 4 inches back from where we would want it to be. I have a really good fabricator friend that I'm gonna bring it to, and he's gonna get us set up with that. Like I said, we're pushing the boundaries of what will work on this car, bolt on and crossover between the 11th gen. As I mentioned before, this exhaust system over here on the ground, the stock one, is the identical part number to the 11th gen Civic Si. That being said, I don't know if you would have the same fitment issue on 11th gen Si or not. We haven't put one on the car, we don't have one of those to test. But on the Integra, with the factory optional diffuser like I have on here, which does extend it out significantly more than stock, even the factory one, we would have fitment issues. It's more exaggerated, I should say, with this diffuser on it. Nothing a little bit of exhaust pipe won't fix. Do I want to cut a brand new Mugen exhaust? No, but that's the way it's going to work, and this is already mine, so we're going to make it look perfect.
Next up, John, why don't we take it on the road and see how it sounds from the cabin perspective.
Under load, we're going to have a totally different sound. I'm really happy to hear that. I mean, this thing fits beautiful. Stainless steel exhaust is one of my favorite things. When it's in this state, we just got to do a little bit of polishing and whatnot to make sure it stays beautiful. Let's go beat on this thing.
So here we are on the road to go for our first test drive. So far, so good. I mean, it doesn't change much noise on the inside, the cabin area. It's definitely a little deeper than a stock exhaust, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely deeper when we're driving. It's almost a little quieter, but deeper tone.
I think it's deeper on a lower RPM. As the high RPM climbs, it actually quiets back down.
Yeah, it's quieter than the stock exhaust almost. It's pretty nice. And let's not forget, we got a hatchback in here. We got a set of NSX spec RPF ones in the back. This car still fits everything.
Yeah, well, you did mention in the first episode that you'd be carrying quite a bit of wheels in here. So.
Yes, I have a wheel problem. It's a real wheel problem. But yeah.
Let's give a little gas here and see how it sounds, huh? It's so fun, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, with the sporty exhaust, you got a really nice atmosphere in here. It's not too noisy, it's not overwhelming. It's just a perfect sound.
Yeah, you know, it actually calls it a sports silencer on there. So it's not really meant to increase the overall sound of the exhaust, but it's supposed to increase the performance and give you a stock kind of feel.
We'll switch over to sport. How much more responsive once you switch over to sport. I mean, completely different from normal.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Well, I think we're all done here on this exhaust system, but I think we gotta get back to the shop. We got one more thing to do. All right, guys, so we got the car back in the shop. We got the car nice and cool for the very last item on this video.
So what we have here is we have a KoyoRad. This is something they just came out with, and this application applies to the 22 Civic Si 1.5 liter turbo, and as we've been coming to find out, crosses over to our Integra line. Now, this radiator was developed. You would say, why do you need a radiator on a car that's brand new like this? But you know, we've been turning the boost up, and that's going to cause more heat in the engine. We put a bigger intercooler on there. That's going to stop airflow to the radiator. So, you know, a radiator upgrade is definitely going to be an awesome thing. This radiator was developed for the Honda racing team when they're using the 22 Civic Si in the competition. So that's exactly what would be in that race car is what we're going to be putting in this. And a few things about it, we'll show you a little bit more about it when we open it up, but it's twice the thickness of the factory radiator, and you can put absolutely everything besides the radiator cap on here from there. So the fans, sensors, everything crosses over. It's 100% replacement with no modifications necessary. Even your hoses still fit. And not to mention, this thing is also hand welded, brazed, and brushed. So it's pretty awesome setup. I really can't wait to open up and see what it's going to look like. And you actually get to see quite a bit of the radiator when you pop the hood. So let's go ahead and open it up and see. All right, so yeah, it's beautiful. It's definitely very nice. Construction is beautiful. So we were taking a look at here. Our AC condenser actually mounts to the front of it. So they even give us the mounting points for that and new hardware. They have their stencil spray painted on here, and you take a look at these welds. This is not made by robots. This is hand welded and assembled and checked, inspected by 11 inspected that. 11's my man. I'm sure he does a good job. You can also see here, this is where our coolant sensor is going to go. This is our drain and all of our other mounting points. This is also an optional port if you want to put a coolant temperature sensor externally. You can do that there. And this is where our radiator cap goes. You have to get this separate because it doesn't come with it. So that's just something important to know if you're going to go ahead and do this. But so far it looks like everything's going to be a direct fit. Now we just got to worry about getting the old one out and seeing how far we got to take it apart. I see these bolts are pretty easy to get at, but these, we might have to pull the bumper off. Let's take a look and see what's going on. All right, so we got the original radiator out, and you can see that our condenser bolts to it. There were a couple little access holes that gave us access to the bolts on the bottom. It's slotted down here, so we slid it off so we didn't have to mess with the AC system. We didn't have to pull the bumper off. Everything came out real easy. We're gonna see how this one goes now, because this one's overall larger. So that, I don't think it'll give us any issues with clearance, but let's go ahead and put it in here and see how it fits. So far, so good. This thing really fits awesome. Everything fits in the same location. For a radiator that's so much larger overall, it's awesome that everything still fits. Some of our clearances are a little bit tighter here, but not to where it made it any harder to install anything. So overall, fit on this thing is like OEM plus. So I'm super happy with it so far. We still have the intake and the splash shield to put in and bleed the coolant system. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll actually get to see how it looks running. All right, so we're letting the system warm up right now to make sure we purge all air out of the system. Something that helps us with that a lot is this coolant funnel. We're gonna put a link down below and in the description, show you where you can get this off Amazon. It's really cheap, and for almost every application, it comes with an adapter. And this is what everyone, at least here at the dealership, and most people use to bleed the coolant system. Very, very awesome tool, easy to use. Oh, there it goes. Getting air out of the system as we speak. All right, so our fan cycled 2 times and we made sure that we purged all the air out of the system. Thermostat opened up. Now it's time for the radiator cap.
All right, guys, just like that, we are all done with today's video. So why don't we do a quick recap and see what we have done so far on this video. We start off with a set of Vossen Gloss Black HF-5 along with a set of Nitto tires. Then we move on to King Motorsports with a full catback Mugen exhaust system. And we finish off with a Koyo full aluminum radiator. What do you say, car guy?
I say I really like the look of the wheels. They're much more aggressive. We're able to see what a different fitment on the car looks like and a totally different design. We're running 235 tires, like you said, from Nitto, and the Vossens are the same spec as the Mugens, but in a 32 offset instead of a 45. Very aggressive. And also the exhaust, it looks beautiful from behind. Great tone to it. Awesome replacement for stock. I would not say it is a high horsepower exhaust, but it is a very nice exhaust system. And our radiator up here, that is beautiful under the hood. It matches our strut bar. It's brushed instead of polished. Very nice, clean. And the cooling system is extremely efficient. It took us about 30 minutes to actually bleed the system, get it up to temperature. And that just means we're cooling really good. I'm very happy with this. It's gonna work out great for everything we have planned for the car. I can't wait for our next step.
Guys, definitely want to give a shout out to Vossen, Nitto's, King Motorsports, along with Koyo sent us all these cool parts. Now on the next episode, we'll be tearing this car complete apart again. We're gonna be doing a
clutch. Oh yeah, let's go.
With the extra horsepower in certain condition, it starts to slip a little bit, right, John?
Yeah, so right now I have it on a preset map, not even a tuned map, what comes with the K-tuner, set at 22 PSI with our downpipe, front pipe, intake, all those things kind of together, and intercooler. It's just pushing the torque a little bit past where the factory clutch likes. So when the boost comes in around 4,500 RPMs, I get slipped for about 500 or so RPMs, and then it grabs. So we want to turn it up a little bit more. We need a little bit more clutch. So we have a really nice setup coming, complete clutch setup, and I definitely would be looking forward to that.
Guys, you guys like what you see, definitely want to consider subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification. My name is Mike, and I got John right over there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.